Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I speak about different topics in my channel, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I know I'm uploading a little bit late today, but the thing was that we went to Buc-ee's. If you know what Buc-ee is, you know. I grew up in Houston, Texas. I was born in Dominican Republic, but I grew up in Houston, Texas, and I have never been to a Buc-ee's in my life. I have been, I've seen one and drove by one, but never went inside. And my daughter either, so she's been wanting to go. So my best friend, who's a guy, he took us today, and then we ate, then we went to Target, and then Walmart because I had to get some certain things, and we just had a fun Sunday, so that's why I uploaded today. So today we're gonna be talking about hate crime. So I will give you a warning. It is a shooting. We're gonna be talking about a Pittsburgh Jew shooting that happened in Pittsburgh, which I did not even know about it until I started looking for these type of crimes that I wanted to speak about. So let's go ahead and get started, y'all. And I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. So Tree of Life, Elamish congregation is a converted Jewish Sagana. The Sagana describes itself as a traditional progressive and illegitimate congregation. Is located in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, about 5 miles east of downtown Pennsylvania. The Squirrel Hill neighborhood is one of the largest predominantly Jewish neighborhoods in the United States and has historically been in the center of Pittsburgh Jewish community. About 26% of the city Jewish population lives in the area. Originally found as an Orthodox Jewish congregation in 1864 in downtown Pittsburgh by an early group of Jewish immigrants, Tree of Life merged in 2010 with the resident founder congregation Oral Smishi. The modern Saguna building, located at the intersection of Wilkinson's and Shady Avenue in Squirrel Hill, was built in 1953. The congregation also rents space to Dor Harshi, a reconciliation congregation in New Light, another conservative congregation. The Saguna main security has a capacity of 100 and 250 people. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not Jewish. And so if I pronounce anything wrong or anything like that, please, I do apologize for that. Like I said, y'all gonna see me wearing my glasses because my headache, it's not working with me, y'all, and I need my glasses. The Squirrel Hills has a low crime rate and is not generally regarded as a critical tense. However, local Ryback student Neil Risomba was murdered in the neighborhood in 1986 in an anti-Semitic hate crime. In 2018, mass shooting took place soon after Columbia University, in the Anti-Defamation League independently reported a spike in anti-Semitic activity online, especially on the popular social network platform Instagram and Twitter. In addition, other anti-Semitic acts have been committed elsewhere. The immediately raised in the months of August to October 2018 was tribute to recent tensions associated with adversity for the 2018 USA midterm elections. A similar rise in online attacks had occurred during the 2006 USA election, with the midterms being a rallying point for far-right systems to organize efforts to spread anti-Semitism online among the populace. And in 2017, there was 50% rise in an atomistic accident in the United States. And contents of raising hate crimes. Guys, give me a second. Let me just.
That's not for me to say. And if you're already.
Okay.
Offended, I'm telling you what I'm not.
And contents of raising hate crime against other groups, including Muslim, African Americans, as reported by the FBI. For instance, hundreds of Jewish gravestones were vandalized in Pennsylvania and Missouri, and accident in university campus doubled in number. And in August 2017, the widely publicized unit, the Riley in Charlottesville, Virginia, featured Nazi symbols, status in the slogan "Blood and Soil," among other racist and anti-Semitic rhetoric. Considerable anti-Semitic material was being spread online via conspiracy theories about wealth Jewish individuals, including billionaire George Soros. Columbia University John Aubrey said that these represent the worst samples of all the hate speech he has seen on Instagram. So we're going to talk about the shooting. So at 9:45 a.m., 3 religious services were underway in the Tree of Life, which housed 3 distant congregations. Tree of Life and New Light had both begun independent Sabbath morning service in the Pervin Chapel. Basement, respectively, the DoorDash Congress were gathered near the front of the building prior to their 10 a.m. Tory study section. 5 minutes later, a gunman, undefined as Robert Borser, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, and I do not give a crap, and described as a beard-heavy, set white male, entered the building, opened fire, and was shooting for about 20 minutes. He was armed with a Colt R-15 semi-automatic rifle and 357 CIG semi-automatic pistol, all for which he fired, according to authorities. There would typically be around 75 people in the building on a Saturday morning. The first 2 persons shot were 2 brothers, Cecily and David, at the main entrance, after which the gunman head downstairs to New Light. Some hearing the shots did not intentionally recognize them for what they were. Rabbi Jeffrey, located upstairs, thought a cold rack had fallen and clattered. By 1954, police began receiving multiple calls from people barricaded in the building and reporting the attack. At 9:55, Melvin, the leader of a New Light service, had an pitch black closet in the basement. He opened the door of the closet and immediately shot him. The latter did not notice the other 3 Congress who remained in the closet. 2 others, members of New Light, were shot and killed in the basement kitchen, also killing Jerry of DoorDash, a physician who had gone towards the sound of the gunshot to see if anyone had been hurt. At 9:57, he left the basement and headed upstairs to the larger Tree of Life service. About 13 worshippers had gathered for the Sabbath service in an upstairs chapel. Myers helped 4 of them advocate the chapel through a side door, but 8 of the worshippers remained behind, killing 7 of them and wounding the 8th. Police source said, shot at some point during the attack, all Jewish must die. I'm not saying the shooter's last name or the first name, because I'm not giving him no name. I said at the beginning, but that's all. That's. I'm just gonna keep calling him the shooter. The victims, I'm just gonna say their first name, not their last name as well. At 9:59, police arrived at the Sagana. They fired on police from the entryway while apparently deporting, and police returned fire, forcing him to retreat into the building. A half-hour later, teleco teams entered the building and also fired upon them. When officers wounded him and returned fire, he retreated to the 3rd floor and hid in a room. He had wounded 2 officers and 2 SWAT members, one of them critically. At 11:08, he crawled out of the room and surrounded, having been shot multiple times. As he received medical care in police custody, he allegedly told a SWAT officer that he wanted Jewish to die and that Jewish were committing genocide against his people. Okay. The shooter discharged his rifle 67 times during the shooting. So 11 people were killed, including 3 in the ground level and 4 in the Sagana basement. Among the dead were 2 brothers, a married couple. At least 6 others were injured, including 4 Pittsburgh police officers. 5 people were transported to the UPMC Press Training Hospital. 4 required surgery, while 1 was treated and released by the afternoon. Another victim was transferred to the UPMC Mercy, while the accused was taken to allegedly General Hospital. Those killed were, like I said, I'm just gonna say their last name and their age, and that's it. And more information if they have it. So Joey's 65, a retired University of Pittsburgh research specialist. Richard, 65, a dentist. Rose, 97, an active congregant at the Sagana for more than 60 years. Jerry, 65, a family physician. Cecilia, 59, and David, 54, brothers who lived together at a community home for people with disability. Bernice, 84, Savannah, 86, a retired couple who celebrated their wedding at a Tree of Life in 1956. Daniel, 71, a retirement cellmate and substitute school teacher. Melvin, 87, a retired accountant who was leading service at the time of the shooting. Arvin Younger, 69, a retired real estate company owner who served as a grade at the Sagana. 7 others were injured in the accident, which included 3 other congregants and 4 Pittsburgh officers, 2 parole officers, and 2 SWAT officers, 3 by ricocheted gunfire and other by glass firemen. So, the shooter was born September 14th of 1972. A resident of the Bollywood, Pennsylvania, was arrested as a shooter. Parents divorced when he was about 1 year old. While he was 7 years old, his father, Randall, of the Pittsburgh neighborhood of Garfield, died by suicide on October 15th of 1979 at the age of 26, while he was awaiting trial on a rape charge in connection of an April 27 of 1979 rape of a 20-year-old woman in Squirrel Hill. Authorities confirmed that his body was a self-inflicted gunshot and wounded to the chest was found under a picnic table near the Tomasted Dam in Tomasted, Pennsylvania, with intemperate drugs next to him. Police also recovered his .22 caliber rifle at the scene. Mother was remarried in 1975, with the family briefly living in Florida before the couple separated the following year in 1976. Upon their return to Pennsylvania, his mother lived with his mother's parents in Hata, a suburb of Pittsburgh. His paternal grandparents took responsibility for raising him because his mother suffered from health problems. He attended Burn High School in the Blairville School District from August 1986 to November 1989. He dropped out of high school before graduating and worked as a trucker for 13 years until 2002. Neighbors described as a ghost who rarely interacted with others, according to the accounts which were given by co-workers and analysts of his recent social media posts. His conservatism became reflecting at a white nationalism as a point in the late 1990s. Was fanatic by the right-wing radio host Jimmy Quinn, who at the time was on a WRRK. A later time, he became a follower of aggressive online prosecutor of the right-wing's French. He was deeply involved in posting comments in social media websites such as Gab. He also promoted anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on them. Retweeting discussed a conspiracy theory that Jews were inciting evil Muslims to take over the United States together. Gab has been described as a friendly to non-Nazi white supremacists and the alt-right. He registered his Gab profile in January 2008 under the handle Undeagle. He described his account by the following: Jewish of the children of Satan, the Lord Jesus Christ, come in the flesh. The cover picture was a photo of the number 1488, which is used by not-Nazi and white supremacists to evoke David Land. 14 words in the Nazis' long Heil Hitler. He published posts that support a white goddess in conspiracy theory, such as one that say daily reminder diversity means chasing down the last white person. He said that supporters of the K-On conspiracy theory were declared and being tricked. Yeah, and I'm not giving him any more So we're just gonna skip to. So he was charged by the USA Department of Justice for 29 federal crimes. He appeared in a federal court in Pittsburgh on October 29, 2018, and was ordered to held without bail pending trial. 2 days later, was indicted in 44 counts of federal grand jury. The charges carry a minimum penalty of death or 535 years in federal prison. The counts include hate crime, 11 counts of obsecration of exercise of religion beliefs resulting in death, 11 counts of use of a firearm to commit murder during a crime of violence, 4 counts of obscuration of exceeding a religion beliefs resulting in body injury to a public safety officer, 3 counts of use in discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. On November 1st, 2018, he entered a plea of not guilty. On January 29th of 2019, the grand jury indicted on additional 19 counts, 13 of which were for hate crimes. On February 11, 2019, was arraigned in federal court. His defense team include 2 public defenders, plus well-known criminal defense attorney Judy Clark, a death penalty expert who was appointed by the court as a co-counsel for the defendant. The defense offered a plea deal in which would plead guilty in exchange for a sentence of life imprisonment without parole. Federal prosecutor declined seeking the death penalty instead. The trial date was not set until various procedural motions were resolved, and in April 2020, Senior USA District Judge Danton Ambassador denied defense challenge to the federal death penalty. In October 2020, Judge Ambassador denied a defense motion to dismiss charges brought under the Hate Crime Prevention Act and Church Arson Prevent Act. And in November 2021, the defense decided that it would not pursue an inciting defense or integrate disabled defense. In January 2022, after holding an earlier a defining hearing, Judge Amberso denied motion to suppress evidence of the statement he made after being arrested by police inside an ambulance and at the hospital the day of the attack. After the judge retired in February 2022, the case was randomly reassigned to the USA District Judge Robert J. Collin, and in March 2022, the judge denied motion for a change of venue. So they were just like playing hot potato. I don't know. And in September 2022, judge set the trial to begin in April 2023, recounting a bid by the defense to delay the trial until December 2023. And in March of 2023, members of the jury pool began completing questionnaires. The jury selection process began on April 24th, with 12 jurors and 6 alternates being selected. And the trial began on May 30, 2023. Prosecuting called 6 witnesses, while the defense did not call any witness. The witnesses who testified include survivors of the attack, including Congress and Rabbi. Evidence presented to the jury, including recordings of 911 calls as the attacks unfold. Testimony from police officers who eliminated subs, the gunman from expert witness, and medicine, guns, computers from the FBI agents, police detectives who investigated the case, from a paramedic who responded in the scene, and from director of the Allegheny County Medical Examiner Office. Photographs were also introduced as evidence, including photos of exclusive documents, bloodstains, bullet fragments, and shell casing in police body worn cam. Footage was also shown to the jury. They were showing social media posts were also introduced as evidence after 11 days of testimony. Prosecutor told the jury to close an argument that he had made cold, calculated, deliberated choice in the shooting. Defense counsel concerned that he had fatally shot all the victims, but urged that there was doubt as to his specific intent, why he did what he did, and what he thought he would accomplish by doing so. And on January 16th of 2023, 50-year-old was found guilty in all 63 federal charges, including 11 counts of obstructing the free exercise of religion's belief, resulting in death. The jury rendered a verdict after 5 hours of deliberation over 2 days. So basically, they're saying that, hey, he didn't have a reason. We just, he just, we can't. He did it because he. No, he did it because he's a evil person. That's why. The sentence he faced began on January 16th of 2023, with the jury hearing arguments to decide if should be sentenced to death or life without parole. Defense lawyers sought to pursue the jury that had specific brain damage and was influenced by mental illness or delusion. By contrast, prosecutor emphasized evidence showing that had a sensitive plan his attack and was motivated by anti-Semitic, as shown in his numerous rants on social media and statements to police after the attack. So with that being said, basically his defense were like, yeah. See, the thing is that he has mental problems. Like, he's not good in the head. So he really wasn't thinking right. So yeah, we can't put him on death row. No, we can't kill him. But the defense, like, yeah, no. See, no. He knew what he was doing. He was planning this. This was the plan that he was planning over years to come. And you can see it on his social media. So, yeah, no. He knew exactly what he was doing. So, we're not going with that. 3 University of Pittsburgh Medical Center physician to testify about the review of brain image tests of him on 2021 and 2022. They found tests to be largely normal. 2 defense experts by contrast testifying that they believe had significant brain damage that could be correlated with schizophrenia. Yeah, no, I can't say that word. And could affect behavior. That's a lie, but okay. A separate defense expert at the University of North Texas Forensic Psychology testified on his opinion for 20 hours of examination of over 4 days in 2022. He testified that was proud of his attack, showed no remorse for the shooting, and though that he deserved medals in a parade. This piece of garbage said he was proud and that he deserved a parade. Sir, you might as well get your... You know what? I don't even believe in the death penalty. I really don't. But he needs to die. They need to put him in the death penalty. I don't even know if they did. But he's the type of person that needs to be... What? The psychologist opined that he's brainly psychotic and suffers from... But agreed in cross-examination that he was gold irritating and planned the attack as much as 6 months in advance. Separately, an naturalist who examined 2021 testified as the defense expert opening that he has an epilepsy on cross-examination. The defense naturally acknowledged that was not incapable of plotting the shooting, but testified that his reason for planning it out is inheritable in his brain. The defense presented evidence of the history of serious mental illness, including multiple suicide attempts since his teenage years, an accident in which he threw flammable liquid in his mother and tied to a grin at age 13, and 3 instances of voluntary community in the least in 2004. At the request of the defense, the sentencing phase was split into 2 parts, each with an opening statement and closing arguments in the jury decision. So, hold on. So, on August 26th of 2023, he was transferred to the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons and placed on death row at the United States Penitentiary in Hata. He attempted to appeal his sentence for a new trial in November 2023, but his request was denied in May 2024. So yeah, he was the first and only criminal to be sentenced to death by USA federal government during the presidency of Joe Biden. And that is the case, guys. That is the case of this psycho worth of nothing human. The fact that his lawyers were trying to make excuses for him, saying that he had mental problem. No, sir. You could have mental problems, but you could know the difference between wrong and right. And he obviously knew the difference between wrong and right. And he didn't have no remorse. He told the people that he should get a parade. Like, I don't get people sometimes. This is the cases like this. I don't have words. I really don't. Like, I don't understand people. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. I will see y'all soon with another video. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I hope y'all take care of yourself. Please be careful out there. Bye.